welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. I'm out here in the woods at the job on the other side of the river from my house that I spoke about in the last video. And well, I've had my first failure. So I had a hydraulic line blow. It's one of the, I believe it's this line, comes down and around through this carriage here and over to here. So it's unfortunate, but you know, these things are going to happen. I don't know if any of these hoses, since the machine's been brand new, has ever been changed. But it was a pretty good pop, and luckily it didn't hit me direct. It just kind of got a little bit on my boots, didn't get any on me, so to speak. Well, of course, until I had to get my hands all up in there. So today is Memorial Day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting any hoses today. There's a slight chance my friend Richard might be able to get one done for me, but I'm not sure I'm even willing to bother him at this point. It is Memorial Day. We had rain through most of the weekend. I'm sure a lot of you have as well. And today is actually starting to clear up a little bit. So anything that is left of anybody's Memorial Day weekend here, I really don't feel inclined to interrupt that. So this might have to wait till tomorrow. I might do some back and forth to get the hydraulic hose out and ready for tomorrow. That way after work I can swing by, get one made up, put this baby in. But I wanted to take a few minutes. I didn't really get to talk about anything of value about this mulcher head. And I'm not sure how much more I can expand on the mulcher head itself as far as what I know about it. But what I can tell you is this thing is a really nice piece of equipment. This attachment is doing everything that I thought was kind of on the fringe of reality, right? So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer to the mulcher head and also kind of show you what it is that I've been doing with this thing. So this mulcher head I have on a Deere 27D. I believe it's a I think it's a 2006. Pretty sure it's 2006. This has a 28-inch disc on it. It's got 6 carbide molars around the outside. That would be these. And underneath, I wish I could show you, but unfortunately I can't. I intended to, but Mr. Hose left me stranded here. So no complaints. This thing has been working really, really hard. Now, underneath there is a bunch of carbides that kind of, there's 2 separate rows, I think, and they together they kind of swirl around to the inside. I think I may have said in the other video, it kind of reminds me, if you're somebody who's caught an eel while out fishing before and you open an eel's mouth, the teeth kind of spiral in on a circle. Very similar to that. This thing has been really, really great. I do wish that I had a more powerful machine to run it, just because of, you know, stronger flow. Just hang on a second. Let me wait for this airplane to go by. Well, okay, I think that's quiet enough now. That thing was really loud. Anyway, so I do wish the machine had a little bit more power to run it. This particular setup is set up for, it's tuned for 14 gallons a minute. My machine is somewhere, I think, between, I've seen things on the Google saying that it's, you know, like 14.2 or 3 gallons per minute. And then I've also seen things that say like 13.8, you know, somewhere in there. So whatever one it is, I really don't know for sure. But this thing is performing great. There are certain functions of the machine that rob power from the mulcher head. So when you're tracking, that robs some power. When you're pulling the stick or the dipper toward you, it loses power. Now, one thing I can say about that situation is while you're operating the machine and you're trying to lift the dipper up, it will kind of be real sluggish, or sometimes it won't even move at all. So what I do is I toggle off on this. So I release pressure from the auxiliary flow function. I just come off of it a little bit, and it'll help bring up the dipper quicker, so you can be a little smoother. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you understand what you have to do to make this thing move smoothly and efficiently, you really can. Now, the one thing I will say about when you're functioning this thing and you're moving this thing around, this is a heavy implement. I think the bucket is somewhere around 220 pounds. So this is like 612. So you subtract the 220 from there. So, you know, I mean, you're not picking up the full 612 pounds, you know, in addition to your 220 pound bucket. So there is that. So it handles it very well. But if you're careless, you will get the bucking bronco thing going on. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're operating one of those things with a machine of this size. So I'm going to walk around here, and I'm going to kind of show you now. Everything you guys see here on the ground, it's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. And this machine does do much better than this. And I will take the time to show you. But what you need to understand here is all along here is a stone row. And naturally, you don't want to be knocking your carbides around too much with that. I've already touched a few times today, and it's, you know, kind of got me grinding my teeth. So, and all under here is a bunch of cobble. Okay. So I need to just knock this down and get it, you know, sort of a bit of a reset. All this is going to rot basically. We've got so many ash trees that have fallen down since last year. It's blowing my mind. I had all this cleaned out. You could see all through the woods here that this was all completely like pickup sticks. Like, it seemed like hundreds of ash trees and other types of trees that had fallen down. This one here on the ground is new. All this is new. Absolutely incredible how much damage these emerald ash borers and the lantern flies and stuff have done. It's a tremendous amount of damage. So yeah, coming through here, it really does appear to be like the machine or the attachment's not, you know, mulching per se. But give me a minute. I'm going to walk to the other side that I've been working on for the past 2 days. And you're going to see that this thing definitely mulches. All right, so here I am. I'm over in what is now a field. Past couple days, it definitely was not a field. Now, this stuff here behind me, okay, I'd say, you know, and I'd say that's about 10 feet, give or take, maybe a little more. And all down there. Okay, so this span here, I would say is roughly, I would say almost 200 feet, give or take a little bit. And another all along there, all the way up to this corner is probably, oh, I don't know, 300 and change, you know, less than 350, but more than 320. Let me turn this camera around. All right, now this field, now I mentioned before that this thing mulches. Okay, there's 2 factors I want you to take into consideration. I've been doing all of this work in the rain. Now, this space that I chewed up, I would say is about an acre, maybe an acre and a quarter. And if you include all the stuff I did around the other side, you're probably talking about an acre and a half altogether. And it took me probably 14 hours. Now, that's a long time, yes. But you also have to remember I'm running a mini excavator and a 28-inch disc mulcher. You know, that's only got a 23 horsepower or 24 horsepower diesel motor. And like I said, somewhere, give or take, 14 gallons per minute of flow. Standard flow, okay? Now, you know, because this stuff was wet when I was chewing it up, you know, I would say shred. I wouldn't say mulch, okay? I would say shred, okay? And it did a damn good job. Very, very happy with this piece of equipment. I'm sure the results would be a little bit neater and tidier if everything was dry, you know, if it wasn't all wet and raining as I was mulching or shredding, slashing through here. But it did a really great job. I mean, it did everything we needed it to do, and then some. So this whole tree line here now, I have to maneuver back and forth and in between all the standing trees, and I need to shred, mulch, whatever you want to call it, all the underbrush in between all this. And, you know, maybe some, you know, smaller trees, you know, up to 2.5, 3 inches. Now, in advertisement, I've seen claims of this attachment doing up to 7 inches. Now, I can't see 7 inches, not with a 28-inch disc. Now, if I recall, that particular mulcher comes in several different sizes. I think up to 42-inch. I could be wrong. RUTT, don't hate me if I'm wrong there, but I think it's 36 or 32 or something like that. And then 42, I don't know. And those clearly are for much bigger machines. But, you know, this 28-inch deal on my machine has been working great. Very, very happy with it. Well, all right. I'm back here at the machine. That's a little bit of a hike through the swamp there. I had to pay attention to what I was doing between the slippery rocks and the slippery logs that I'm balancing across. I wanted to make sure if I had to take a fall, I had hands to do it, or to manage the damage, if you know what I mean. So yeah, unfortunately, about 5 minutes before this thing blew a hose, I had looked up at my phone because I had it hooked to the charger, and I said to myself, oh, almost good charge on it. I think it's going to be time to set up the old tripod and get you guys rolling so you can watch what I've been doing. But yeah, 5 minutes later, voila, I got a vacation day, sort of. But yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of bring you guys in at I guess a moment of suspense was probably a good thing in the way of it. It's an interesting way to start a video. So what I'm going to do is, this is probably going to be a day, maybe 2 days for you, for me, but for you guys, it's going to be just a moment. So I'm going to stop the video here and catch back up with you when I have the hose to put back in here. All right, so you guys hang tight. You see the birds are protesting. They're crapping on my machine. It's funny but not funny, right? Can't really say I blame them. Oh man. I don't even want to say what that looks like. It's just grease, I swear. All right. Well, now that gross. Yeah. What is that hanging on? There we go. Just a little schmutz. So, not really sure. There we go. So I wonder how. So it comes out like that. I think. Come out from behind it. right, folks. Well, almost the end of another day here on my buddy's property. Slashing and mulching through all the mess here. Hopefully you can hear me over this plane. We have a little bit of a gauntlet here that they run. Some of these planes coming out of the local airport, a performance plane, so that they can be a little obnoxious. So for you guys, it's been merely seconds or less. But for me, it's actually been, I'd say, 3 days since the last time I turned the camera on and recorded much of anything. So far, I would say I've probably done 2 acres, maybe 2.5 acres by the time I get. There's a little patch behind you guys, I'd say the swath is probably 40 feet wide, and I believe it's going to taper down gradually. We got a stone wall here, and then just kind of I got a lot of blowdowns mixed in, all this underbrush and everything, so I've had to work around the blowdowns to find out what's in there, big rocks, whatever it might be, so I don't destroy this thing any more than I already have as far as the carbides. Kind of using this to pull, trees, around, get them out of the way so I can continue to clean up around them. And I'll tell you what, they built this thing really, really, really well. I was very concerned about, using this thing to be tugging on stuff. I really wasn't 100% sure how it was going to handle that, but it's as strong as any bucket I've used so far. It's pretty strong. So the only thing, because of all this back here, you don't get the roll, can't really, it's not the same as a bucket where you can kind of get under things real easy and kind of cradle it. I've been able to do it with a few things, but because a bucket's got a shape like this, right? But this kind of sticks out. It's like a heel, and it kind of prevents you from really doing that. But it's been awesome. It's absolutely been incredible. These are still the original carbide molars on here, and there's not much left of it, I'm not gonna lie. Up here in the Northeast, we've got boulders, it's like bank run, kind of like river rock of all different sizes all throughout our fields, which is why up here in the Northeast you'll see a lot of property lines and field perimeters marked with river rock type of stuff, and just piled up, just from harvesting it during plowing season and hucking it off to the side, and so yeah. But so far, even with these things a little bit how can I say, getting, well, I don't want to say long in the tooth, because it's actually quite the opposite, but it's still just tearing this stuff down, mulching everything up, or I should say slashing it quite well. And now that it's dry, there definitely is, I had mentioned earlier on camera that when it was wet that one day, it didn't really mulch up as well as I was hoping. It's definitely better now that it's dry. And I will say also that the field that I cleared out for the first stint of this project, the pulp that it made, because it was wet, it was almost like, if anybody's a horse person, so it's like a bran mash is what it seemed like. It was just a big matted, chewed up wood and grass and leaves, and it didn't look bad, but it didn't look great either. And just in the past week, because I started last weekend, just in the past week, all that stuff has completely broken down and it's gone already. I was just out there about an hour ago and just kind of looking around, and I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. So I'm not sure if my friend's been out there since the last time we went about a week ago, but I think if he goes out there, he's going to be even more pleasantly surprised with how it broke down so quickly. So, but anyway, that's about it for now. I got some of this to clean up. There's another chunk of blow down here. I gotta kind of, work around that. It looks like there's a cedar tree in there or two, and maybe a couple ash trees that fell down a long time ago. And yeah, we're gonna work our way over to the stone row, and we're gonna head that way. I'm probably gonna get out of here in about an hour. I've already been here since 9, so it's been a decent day so far already. And tomorrow after work, I will be here around 4:30, and then I'll probably work till 7:45, 8 o'clock. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, folks. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. If anybody has any questions about the mulching with an excavator, this particular mulcher from RUTT Manufacturing, or my Deere 27D model, yeah, just give me any questions down in the comments down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And I guess you guys will probably see me next at the up and coming project, probably about 25 miles that way. So all right, well, you guys have yourselves a good evening, and I'll catch you on the next video.